bring in your Tinkercad model to get printed. So first things first. First of all, make sure you rename it. So right now mine says Robot Miguel because the generic name, it gives it kind of a weird, funky name. Change it to be something very specific, like robot, and then put your first name. Okay? Make sure you change that. Next, look over your print. Double check it all. So really zoom in there. So look around it. What you're looking for right now is anything that's not connected. So zoom in, double check everything. If I look, oh, did you see that right there? Look, my ear is not actually connected right there. So I need to take a minute and actually connect this ear to there. So that's the first thing. Make sure things are connected. Next, make sure everything is touching the actual plane, the ground here. So if I look right here, I can see, look, he's actually floating above. This would actually print, but it would put support stuff underneath here, which I don't really want it to do. So make sure everything that's supposed to be touching the ground is. So I'm going to move that down, and you'll see how it kind of snapped to 0, 0 right there. Perfect. Okay, so those two things. Next, check for things that are too thin. Make sure they're not too thin. So for example, if this hair was thin, and it might look like that, that's actually too thin. Not only won't the printer won't be able to print that, but if it was to be able to print it, it would probably break. So make sure things are actually thick. So you want your 3D model to be really strong. I don't know how to describe it. Like really, I don't know, thick. I can't think of another word. Okay, next thing. So you also want to check for anything. So for example, let me put this little cone here. Like, I don't know, let's say it's a little jetpack or something. And I move it up. So you want to make sure everything is not connected really poorly. So for example, these are touching each other, but that will definitely break. So make sure if you need to really get that in there so it does not break on you later on. Or just delete it, whatever you need to do. Okay, next thing, check for any pieces that are just way out in the middle of nowhere or just off the screen, or you need everything. So this would actually print this cylinder if I didn't get rid of it. So make sure you get rid of it. So, all right, this thing looks ready to go. So the first thing I want to do is press export over here. And then I want to make sure that, everything in the design is selected, not this one. This one, if you're clicked on something, will highlight. So I actually always want that one. And then I want s.stl. That's the file format we want for 3D printing. Click it. And okay. Perfect. So now, yeah. So I'm just gonna minimize this window. So I'm gonna just press this button that minimizes it. I like to have my screen clear. I'm going to then go up to this little magnifying glass right there, it's actually called the spotlight search. You click it, and I'm gonna search for Cura or Ultimaker Cura. So that's what I want to open. So go ahead and press return on your keyboard. And yours will probably not open all the way. It'll probably come to a screen. Just click next and next and next. And then it will probably ask you, what printer do you have or want to use? Just say, one of them says non-connected printer. You click on it and you're looking for Ultimaker 2 Plus. So that's what you click on, and you press finish. So it takes a few clicks, but you'll eventually get to this screen right here where you'll see the printer. And if it doesn't say Ultimaker 2 Plus right here, then you have the wrong printer, and you can easily change it just by coming right here and to say, hey, add printer or change the printer to the Ultimaker 2 Plus. And it should say 4mm here. And yeah. And so from there, you're just going to take your file. And by the way, I should have mentioned that when you save this, always save things to your desktop. Okay, it makes it a lot easier for you to find later. So my file is still sitting right here. If yours isn't, you can actually just download it again and then drag it over here, and that will save it to your desktop. But I have my computer to automatically go to my desktop. So anyway, I'm gonna drag and drop my file, my STL. Yours might look yellow, mine is gray, that's okay. I just have a little bit newer version of Cura than that's on the computers. And you see all the red that's showing, that's a lot of the stuff that is an overhang. So I'm gonna need to put some supports in there. So before I do that, the first thing I wanna do is I wanna press slice. Click on your guy, press slice. And it says it's gonna take 2 hours and 2 minutes. Okay, that's too long. I'm gonna have you shrink this down to be 1 hour and 45 minutes. So click this button right here. Do you see that? It says scale. And then you see these little like things, you just drag them in a little bit and then you press slice again. And you're trying to get as close as you can to 1 hour and 45 minutes. It went too small, so I'm gonna increase it. And you'll notice it's actually changing these numbers right here as well. Slice it again. So if you want, you can actually just come over here and be like, you know what, I wanna just click on these. This is easier. It does the same thing as dragging these. A little bit bigger. Let's try 89. I don't know. Slice. Again, you want it to be 1 hour and 45 minutes. And if it's not, it won't print. So let's see, 90. We're getting closer. Oh my goodness, come on. Slice. Anyway, take your time, get that right. That's close enough for me right now. I'm now gonna press preview right here. I wanna show you why they call it a slicer program. So if you take this little thing right here, you can actually see how it sliced up my file into layers, and the printer just goes up layer by layer. So cool to see like what it's gonna look like inside and all the way to the very top. If you have any problems, you may need to adjust your model, but you can see yours probably didn't have that support on it. Let me turn that off for a sec. So yours probably doesn't have support, so it just looks like one solid color. But what you need to do now is actually click here and turn on support and turn off adhesion. You don't really ever need adhesion that much, especially if you already have support. So when I press slice now, it's gonna put on supports around my robot so that it doesn't just fall off so you can see under his hand is putting things. So that's gonna all come off later. I'm gonna take tweezers and stuff and pick it all apart. It's actually designed to come apart pretty easy, but it's not always the easiest. Anyway, okay, this thing's ready to turn in. So now I'm just gonna say save to disk, and I'm gonna change it. This is where do you want to save it? Save it to your desktop. Press save. Maybe save. There we go. And this is the file I want to turn in. You should have two files on your desktop. One is your 3D model STL, and this one. This is what I need to turn in, the .g code. So go to Canvas and turn in this file. Otherwise, I can't print anything. Okay, good luck.